Well, today on Nation, a Window Cleaners podcast, we're talking about the differences between residential and route. Well, I know they're super simple, but there's something you probably aren't thinking about, and this is going to change the whole way you sell this stuff. So, if you're a window cleaner, stay tuned to WCR Nation. What's up, everybody? Jersey here from windowcleaner.com, and you are here. If it's your first time here, have a look around. My voice usually doesn't sound like this, but coming off of the trip to IWC, I was in Vegas, and I was, stuck in cigarette smoke basically for half a week, and yelling over music, and all that other good stuff. But anyway, hopefully you go back, listen to a bunch of episodes. We've been doing this more than 400 weeks straight. It's crazy. It's crazy. So a lot of content. Some of it's not bad. That's all I can tell you. But anyway, today we're talking about the difference between residential or Resi and route. And a lot of times when you get somebody who is a route window cleaner, they have the route window cleaner mindset when they start selling houses, and it doesn't work. And they're like, what the heck? Why isn't it working? And it's quite simple, actually, because they're different. Like, you sell, an F-350 differently than you sell, a minivan. That's a fair assumption. Like, to bring it to that point, you go, well, yeah, of course. That's the same thing with residential and route. You're selling to two different people. Yeah, like, route business owners have houses, but it's different. It's absolutely different. And the way you sell them should be absolutely different. They both do not work. The selling points do not work for both, I should say. And I'll start off by saying residential can be an ad. You can send a mailer. You can do door hangers, 5-ups, E2DM. You can do Facebook ads. You can do all that stuff. An ad works for residential. An ad does not work for route. Now, before you come in, and you can still tell me if it makes you feel better, but you'll come in and go, well, I've had 2 route jobs now find me from an ad. Well, yeah, okay, so it accidentally happens, but you do not track down route window cleaning jobs by ads. It just doesn't work. The reason is because it's a necessity versus a luxury, really. And when it comes to those two different types, there's very different ways you sell it. You sell a Lamborghini very different than you sell a toothbrush. It is. So the problem comes in is that in residential, with ads, you can do everything. Facebook, Google, all of those type of ads work if it's on a local level. But in route, you have to stop in and do the whole door-to-door thing. And I'm going to give you a secret. If you're like, hey, I'm thinking about getting in route, or I can't grow my route or whatever, I'm going to give you a quick tip. Route is about follow-up. Route is literally just you getting the name. It's just getting the contact information. Maybe 1 in 10 closed accounts would come from like stopping in, just happen to catch the owners there or whatever. And everything else is follow up. And out of that, like 1 out of, 15, 13, whatever it is, 1 out of 13 will say yes. So you got to do basically 150 route jobs to catch 1 that says, yeah, let's do it right away. It's very rare. Sometimes you get lucky, absolutely. Most times it's follow-up. In residential, follow-up is good if you didn't close it, but typically, if you do a phone bid, you do it right away, they're closed right away. It's a yes, then it's scheduled, then it's done, then. It's off their to-do list. But the way that you sell it is different. The way that the two people listen to what you're saying is different. So you can't say it the same way for both. And that's where ads don't work for route and they do for residential. It's very, very different. I always have that probably once a month. Somebody asks me, They say, I'm looking at getting commercial, which isn't route. I know. I really want property managers. Can I send them? No, they just get enough crap, they throw it away. It's bombarded, right? It's the same thing with stopping in. Is when you go and do a route sale or you talk to somebody, they have random window cleaners stopping in all the time, trying to sell them something all the time. So their instant thing is, oh, no, we got somebody. Thank you, though. Oh, thank you. They want to stop the conversation. Don't waste my time. I got things to do. Doesn't necessarily work that way with residential. It's very different. And again, residential is a luxury. It can be sold as a luxury. It's something somebody wants to do. A route job isn't a luxury. It's something they have to do for customers. When they're coming in, they have to have clean windows. If they're a restaurant, they have to do it for health inspections. There's a lot of reasons they have to do it. So it's a very different sell. By the way, side note, this is why route work can be done at 75% compared to 90 for residential. You're going to be back in a couple weeks, right? So route is very different in that route. But route needs follow-up. Residential typically won't need follow-up because you're already talking to them. Let me explain what I mean. This is how most route sales will ever go for you. And by the way, if I'm wrong, please do comment. But I'm just some guy who talks. I'm wrong all the time. But my thoughts is when you get a residential person to call you from an ad, from a whatever, I hate door knocking. It's the worst thing ever. It's not for our industry, and it's absolutely a plague. But somebody calls you, they're interested. They're already interested. They're already ready. It's one of those things you're going to explain to them why you're the best and get them in the schedule right then and there. Boom. And you're going to close maybe 90% if you're good. By the way, being a good salesperson and also having the right money, the right price, the right, all of that stuff comes down to you. But also, a lot of times people are like, well, if you close 90%, you're too low. Not typically. You could be priced correctly and just be a really good salesman, but it's a little bit more rare. Anyway, I digress. With route, you're always the one going to them. Very, very seldom do they come to you. So you're going to a cold lead, where residential, it's a warm lead. They're coming to you because they want your service. They want it, they deserve it, they want to treat themselves, they want to do whatever. On route, you're going to them. So you're already breaking the first wall that they put up. It's like, cold call. Hey, I'm going to sell you something. You want to hear about it? Yeah, no. I'm good. You didn't even hear it. That's why route always needs follow-up, because they're going to give you a lot of excuses in the beginning to end the conversation, and you're going to call them again the next day, 7 days from then. And you're like, oh man, this guy's real. Okay, yeah, let's talk about it. It's very, very different in the mindsets. This like anything. If you get a cold call, somebody calls you. Oh, hello, Mr. Jersey. I'm calling you to see how you like your current cable provider. No thanks, not interested. Have a great day. Click. I don't even want to hear their spiel. I don't have time for it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want it. If they call and they're like, hey, Mr. Jersey, this is Kyle over here at Lamborghini, and we wanted to talk to you about some specials you're having. I'd be maybe a little more interested, but I'd still be like, this is weird. Right? I don't want to be sold. So it doesn't matter if you like it or not. Something you kind of don't want to be sold on. In route, now you're talking to them about something they do need, but they have dozens of window cleaners a year stop in there who are in the area, and they want to do it for beer money, and they're doing, hey, gotta clean your windows. You're competing against that. And they have 1,000 other things to do. So do they want to spend a bunch of time listening to your pitch? Not really. But they're also going to separate you because they know out of the other 12 that they talk to, they could just be like, oh, I know, we got somebody, and then they would never talk to them again, end the conversation. But a real company would follow up. A real company like you are going to call them the next day. Hey, I was in there yesterday. Just wanted to follow up, see if you had any questions on the proposal, if you had a chance to look at it. I know you said you had somebody, which is awesome. I just want to be in place in case something happened. Oh, no, actually, I didn't get a chance to look at whatever. I just went in there, got their information, and now I call them. And that was my entire plan in the first place, was to be able to continue to call them and stay with them and show them how awesome I am. And it's going to take a little bit of time. Route needs follow-up. By the way, you should always be following up on residential. If they didn't book with you, absolutely follow up with them, because now they're a qualified lead. You just didn't get them to go yes in the first one, right? It's very different. Remember we said too, how you talk to somebody, or if I speak English and you speak Spanish, then we're not communicating. I have to know your language in order to talk to you. The same thing comes with residential and route. Residential's for the experience. They want to treat themselves. They want to be pampered. They want to oh my gosh, the windows look so good. Oh my God. Yes, sometimes they're I have family coming in. I want them to think I keep better care of my house than I do. The holidays are coming up, but typically it's I want to see outside. It's just a beautiful view. I want to that's what they're doing. They're to the point of wanting to give themselves a treat. And guess what? You can help with that. But it's about the experience of getting the windows cleaned. In route, it's the reliability. Yes, sometimes it could be price. You find those people all the time, and the cheapest person always wins. You don't really want that customer anyway, even though you end up having a lot of them, because the next time somebody comes in for $1 less, they leave you. Literally. But they want reliability. They want you to be there all the time and not worry about it. They got enough things to worry about because they're a mom and pop, right? The owner is the person who checks you out and stocks the shelves and does everything all at once. They're doing a lot of things. Having one thing not on their plate would help. That's where you come into play. So when you're selling services like this, you cannot go in to Tina's coffee shop and say, oh, well, we show up and have booties on and, we give you a great experience. There's no, I don't need all that. I just want the windows clean. So when the customers walk up, they can say, oh, this place takes good care. It's clean. They assume everything's clean because they want it just done. I will be here every 2 weeks, regardless of the weather. If I have to push it a day, don't you worry, it will get done. And when it does get done, I'm going to leave you a envelope with an invoice. You can pay it right then and there, but you'll have a copy of it knowing that we were there in the date of service. All for your records. If you ever have an audit coming, or an inspection, or you get egged, or graffitied, or anything, you call me. You have absolute emergency service set up with me. I can always come. I'll drop everything if you need me to. People are like, wow, whoa, whew, okay. That takes a huge burden off of me. If you did the same thing to a house, and you're like, hey, you have 24 hours. If you get egged, I will be here. You call me, and they're like, I'm not getting egged. What? I'll be here. Absolutely right. Wait. What are we doing? It's a different thing. So I'm speaking Spanish to a Spanish speaker, right? I'm speaking the language of the person that I'm talking to. And residential and route are very different. You can't sell one like the other. And a lot of people go out there and they're like, I do this and then I did the same thing. And they're like, business is great because they're selling houses like they are residentially. They're like a half or a third of the price. You guys are on pro window cleaning. There's somebody that's in there all the time. His price is just absolute awful. And every time he does a job, he jumps on and tell you how awesome this job is. It's just, it's sad. It's like, man, just get to where you're supposed to be and you will have a better business. But anyway, nothing wrong with how you're doing business at all. Cool thing about business is you get to decide. Whatever you decide, it's right because it's your business. Literally. Pretty cool. It's the only thing, like you work at a job, you got to kind of do it their way. If you don't do it their way, they're not super stoked with you. But your business, they are. Right? But I got to take 2 seconds to give you my shameless plug. And wait, before you fast forward, hear me out. You know I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com. It is how I get paid. It's how I live. It's how I exist on this planet and how I make money. Is by putting orders in for people. Big orders, small orders, it absolutely does not matter. All orders are what I'm looking for. And I see a ton of you put orders in on your own. I hope that I could do that. It's as simple as a phone call or even a text. Just text me and be like, yo, Jersey, it's in my cart. If you click save this cart, I can put it in. It costs you not 1 penny extra, literally nothing extra on your part, but I get credit for it. And it makes me happy. It makes me extremely happy. And I can live and feed myself and, buy all of those fancy luxuries that I do. No, but really, the reason I can afford, toothpaste is because of you guys who let me put orders in. So thank you. Another note is the American Window Cleaner magazine. If you haven't looked, it is a paper magazine that ships to your door every single month. It's for window cleaners, by window cleaners, all articles on the business side, sweet pictures, new products, discounts, exclusives, all that stuff. And even like cool pictures and posters. And we're all window cleaning nerds, and this is our love, this industry. So go to awcmag.com. Get a subscription to the magazine. Real paper shows up at your house, like the old days. It also has a custom sticker sheet in there where it's window cleaning based stickers that you can put everywhere and anywhere. Buckets and everything else. But by the way, if you get the magazine or you're watching or listening to this podcast, your competition isn't. And if you pick up one thing your competition isn't, you can be better. And all our goal is, we're not going against the competition, but all our goal is to be better than we were yesterday. And if I have more tools in my tool bag, I will be better. That's my thought. Anyway, go check that out, awcmag.com. Let me put your orders in. Oh, I didn't tell you my number. It's 862-312-2026. That's my cell. Text me, call me, whatever. Message me, email me. I'm on the phone most of the day too, so text me first. You can call, try it. If you don't get through, just text me. I'm on the phone. That's what I do. It's a lot, as you can hear by my stupid voice. Sorry. Anyway, back to it. But route is frequency. The benefit to you is frequency. The benefit to you for residential is money. Now, you can make money in route, but you have to have a route. I don't know of anybody who's ever started route and the first job they did, they made money, because you can't. When you see these people on Facebook and everything else, like, I charge the same for route that I do for houses, you don't have route then. Like, no one is paying you house prices for route and you have a route built up. It just doesn't, unless they're too stupid to understand that they're just not doing that. It's very, very different. Very, very different pricing. It's very different structure. It's very different cleaning. You're basing route on building the route. Now, when you make really good money with route is when you have a really tight route. The more places you have in a row, on a street, close together, the more money you make. That's how route works. This is literally why the name is route. Because you're building a route. That's when it starts making money. That's when you're making the same money as you are in houses. Not because each job is paying the same, but because you're doing it in a third less time. And you're doing it every 2 weeks. It's already mostly clean. Actually, it's a lot less time. And it's frequency. And when you get out of the truck, you go boom, 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 do all those places. That's why you're making money. Don't focus on the reason for you of being something it's not. In residential, it's money. If you're doing the dentist close, which I hope you are. If you're not, search dentist close in WCR Nation. I have a bunch of podcasts on it. I won't talk about it too much here. But that creates frequency on the route. But it's still once every 6 months. But it's great. You're cleaning a cleaner window. You get the frequency. It's there. But again, it's a big ticket item because you're there for a few hours. It's a different clean, so you're charging more. Residential is for money. It's the reason you do it is because those are some nice tickets. It's like commercial. We're not talking about commercial, but commercial is to fill void spaces, and they're huge tickets. You got to float the payroll because it's slow to pay. But you could have a $10,000 plus account. That's every time you clean, it's $10K. You're like, what? Yeah, but that takes a lot of time, stops everything else. I digress. Residential's for money. Residential as a whole has a lot of add-ons. Route doesn't have add-ons typically. Pressure washing the concrete outside is it. Residential, you could do pressure washing, house washing, facade washing. You could do roof cleaning, hardscapes, concrete, whatever you're doing. A lot of options, a lot of things. Gutter cleaning, screen repair, whatever you do could go to houses. So the ticket can go higher. Larger average tickets. Route is pretty limited because when I'm cleaning the windows, I'm not pressure washing. Pressure washing is usually done at night because it's a store. You can't block the whole thing. If you're not doing route pressure washing, you should. It's pretty good. It's pretty good if you're okay with night work. Problem with night work, like plowing, if you do plowing, is you can't have somebody work all night and then work all day. So like if they work at night, they don't work in the day, and it's the same hours, and it's not adding something unless they're their own crew. You can use technically like the same trucks and stuff, which is kind of nice, but it's its own crew. But routes for frequency, residential's for money. It's just how it plays out. And no matter how you slice it, per window, you will never make the same amount in route as you do for residential. But again, a route window takes you a tenth, a sliver of the time it takes you to do a residential window. Because you're just boom, boom, boom. I'm here every 2 weeks. I know that there's no, really bad fingerprints or overspray. It's 2 weeks, 1 week. I do it weekly. When you're at a house, there's like, okay, well, there could be bugs on there. There could be spiders. There could be whatever the excuses are of things that are stuck to the window that you have to clean off. You could pull out your razor. You pull out your wool. You have to do more in residential, so we charge more. It's the reason that some people get scared away when they're like, what do you charge on route? And I'm like, $2 a pane aside. And you're like, what? On residential, it's $7.50 for the out of a pane. Yeah. How you make any money? It's a completely different cleaning. It's the difference between a NASCAR race that goes for hours and circles and a drag race that goes for seconds. Lots of differences, but they're both racing. The problem that I see a lot of the times, and people kind of figure it out because it doesn't work that way, there's nothing else worse than somebody who, I've been in the game a long, long time, and I'm in the forums and the groups and the blah, blah, blahs. I'm everywhere. And I read a lot of this stuff, and it makes me sad sometimes because people sometimes are so confused at what they're doing that they just assume XYZ doesn't work for them. Or, oh yeah, route in my area, there's no one, I wouldn't do that. Why? Well, you can't make money. You just can't make money on it. I would rather go to a house and okay. So when you break it down to a tight route to a house, you make the same amount of money. My route guy was doing the same amount of money as my residential guys, but that took years to build the route up. A lot of times, people give up on route. They'll start it and they'll be like, oh man, this first job, I'm making $20. I got to drive all the way across town. Yep. But you should also drive across town and spend an hour selling the other places around there and then follow up, get more places. So now you got to drive on the other side of town. You can make a couple $100. Now it makes more sense. The best thing in route, by the way, is when you have like one of those like townhome type things where all the businesses are connected. You can just walk up the street. It's so good. That's when you really, really make a killing. So we had a route that was that type, and he made more than a residential guys on that one route because he just parked a truck and walked for like 4 hours. It was great. Anyway, you guys know that I like route. by the way. I don't like when people get it confused and they're like, yeah, I've tried selling route and no one says yes. Well, that's A, because you've never done follow-up, and B, because you're trying to charge prices. There's a lot of reasons. You're speaking English to a Spanish-speaking person, right? It's something that you have to kind of get better at, but also understand it. That's what we're talking about. And the last one here is that residential has less direct competition than route. I may have worded that wrong, but hear me out. A route window cleaner or window cleaning customer will have somebody sell them windows weekly. Somebody walks in from I just ordered, I could $5, I could do your windows. They just want beer money. You've met route guys. Yes, there are a lot of legitimate ones, and there are probably even more non-legitimate ones. They don't pay insurance. They don't care. We had a guy that, I don't even know how he started getting it. Somebody must have, I don't even really know the story. But the guy took the bus. It would show up at the job with an Aldi's bag. If you know what that is, it's like a discount grocery store. And he would go into the restaurant, and he'd pick a booth, and he'd just dump everything out. It was super loud, all his tools and everything. And he would go to the bathroom to get water. He'd fill up the bucket. He'd leave all his stuff on the table, all these towels, and he'd start cleaning. And then when he was done, he'd pack it all back up and then catch the bus. And I applaud the hustle. But I also see the opportunity of how I, a legitimate person who understands be seen, not heard, can go in there and take the account. And I'm not ever targeting someone like that. So don't get me wrong when I say that, like I'm targeting, it's not because of a certain person. I think that's shady if you're like waiting and then one of the window cleaners leaves, you go in there. I don't like that. But I also am not going to get a job from somebody, especially in route. Most every route job has somebody now. So everybody's like, yeah, my area, they're just all taken. Yeah, of course they are. Everybody who drives, has a car, will someday buy a new car, but they have a car already. They're not like, I don't need a new car, I have a car already, right? You see? The route side, people stop in because it's there, it's easy. You walk in, hey, you need your windows cleaned, hey, you need your windows cleaned, hey. They get bombarded all the time, so they automatically say no. They automatically tell you they have somebody, and they do. And it's a different sell. Again, residential, they have to see the ad. So they don't have people always in their face. You don't have as many competition people. So there is less competition in residential when it comes to if your ad is out there enough times they see it. It's easy to be the number one ad they see because you can put it everywhere, make it posted and seen. In route, they already had 11 other window cleaners this week come in and go, I'd like to sell your windows or whatever. But how many of them did the follow-up? None. Now it differentiates you. Be prepared to be turned away from that. When somebody in a house calls you, and they're like, hey, I'm just looking to get a quote on my window cleaning. If they took the time to find you, research you, get your number, pull up your website, and make the phone call, they want to buy. It's a done deal. All you have to do is be awesome, give them your confidence, book them, and be done. In route, you will assume that you will get a no every time. Again, most every time. One time out of 150-ish, somebody says yes right away. Those are really depressing numbers. But when you realize that that's the process, you go, well, yeah, they're going to say no. I'm going to get their information. I'm going to call them. They're going to go, I didn't get it. Now I'm real. Now I'm legit. Now I'm not just looking for beer money. It's a real company. They're like, wow, okay, this guy's on top of it. Maybe he'll be on top of it with my windows. I still get the same answer. I call him again 4 weeks later. Next time I'm there, I stop in. Hey, just in the area. I figured I'd stop, say hi. Now all of a sudden this guy's like, wow, this guy is literally here. This guy's doing this. This is like, he takes this thing super seriously. Yeah. I got a company. Now you differentiate yourself. Very big difference between residential and route. Always. Down to how you sell it, down to how you do it, how you clean it, how you make money at it, all of that. So do not sell route the same way you do residential, and don't sell residential the same way you do route. And make sure you buy all your supplies through me. WindowCleaner.com, we're the world's largest window cleaning supplier. And here's the secret. Don't go telling everybody. But we have over $10 million in inventory in our warehouse that's paid for, sitting on shelves, waiting. So a lot of times people are like, wow, WCR ships so fast. Yeah, every order that is placed with us before 4 o'clock East Coast time gets shipped the same business day. It's crazy. And we do more orders than every other window cleaning company combined in the top. It's nuts. So I want to be your rep. I want to be the guy that you rely on, call, ask questions, pricing, anything. And in turn, hey, let me put your orders in. My number direct's 862-312-2026. And heads up, by the way, if you're a cool kid, if you're placing orders with me or you're a cool kid, we have a cool kid sticker. Make sure to mention it and I'll throw it in for free. It's limited edition and it only is for people who listen to the podcast who buy from me. Sweet deal. Also, as I drop the magazine, go to awcmag.com. It's the American Window Cleaner magazine. It's been around since 1986 and it is the best it has ever been. Join the other window cleaners that have subscriptions, that are learning everything and soaking it all in and just being window cleaning nerds, at the same time being incredibly smart at it. Get a subscription at $69. Comes with a magazine and a sticker sheet every single week for you. So go do that, awcmag.com. More importantly, I think you should really get into route if you're not already, but even more than that, make sure to go out there and be epic.